All right. We're gonna go ahead and call the special meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court to order. This is the 24th day of April. We do have a quorum present. We are in the Hill County Courthouse. If you would go ahead and stand with me for a prayer.
Commissioners and staff, I have to apologize, I'm wearing my Friday gear today, so forgive me for that. I think the Lord will forgive me too. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Our loving Heavenly Father, we come to you so very grateful for this day of life. Thank you for the birds that are chirping outside, the sun that is out, and the change of season, Lord. Thank you for the water that you provided us. Father in heaven, we ask that your wisdom would be with us today, particularly our commissioners, Lord, and our county staff, Lord, as they lead us. Father, I pray that everyone here would just display the wonderful fruits of the Spirit that you've given to us through your Holy Spirit of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and Lord, even the ever so elusive self-control. Father, there's many decisions that need to be made. Lord, I pray that each one of those would be an honor to you, for your word does give us that whether we eat or drink, whatever we do, we also do in honor of you. And that's what I pray for today. We pray this in the sweet name of Jesus. Amen.
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 All for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
All right. Commissioner, how are you today?
Well, I'm good. I'm good, Judge. We're playing catch up from the rain. And got a few guys working today, normally on 410s, but we're so far behind with the rain. I've got to maintain it out. I'm hauling some rock, trying to cover up some thin spots and just get the roads back where they need to be, which is an uphill battle. We did do some work on the north end of 1415. It was an asphalt job from the Johnson County down to about 2.5 miles. The edges have started to fall apart. So we milled those up in the last couple of days, and then we're getting those prepped to come and tack and spread some hot asphalt to shore that stretch back up. The citizens contributed a good amount of money for that, and we agreed the county would maintain that after we got it constructed. So that's what we're doing.
Gilbert?
Well, we're thankful for the rain, but it did a lot of damage and roads today, and I wrote down 13 roads that I thought was good gravel on, and it's not so good anymore. And got 3 motor graders running this morning, 3 hauling rock, and as soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna get on a motor grader and try to smooth across what I can.
Okay.
The same thing, rain just tore us all to pieces. Roads we thought were good, they're bad, and with data center, wind farm, and Tuesday had a new solar farm move in, so we're basically 3 construction companies going on in precinct 3 right now, and it is, besides just the normal wear and tear on the roads from everyday traffic, it is bad. Yesterday, we hauled 25 to 30 loads of rock on 3369. The truck traffic on it is so thick, can't spread the rock.
Wow.
Had 20 trucks behind us, 20 trucks in front of us, all day long. And I don't know how in the world they expect us to keep a road passing in those conditions. But not good.
Especially with the weather the way it's been.
That's
Commissioner?
We're still trying to patch roads. We have patched all this year. We spent forward and about $250,000 worth of gravel, and we still got a lot of places to patch. And Susan thinks I need to quit buying gravel because I've already done the budget this year on gravel and hauling. So anyway.
Lieutenant?
Pete? No, I do want to say that we finally have our property fraud software in place.
Good.
So we're excited. We're not gonna, we need some people to sign up for it. So you can find out more information on the website.
How do they do that?
Huh?
How do they sign it?
So you sign up for it and you put the name that you want them to identify. If something is recorded under your name, then they'll contact you. So if
You can do that
something.
online
Mhm,
through your website?
mhm.
Perfect.
Any cost to
No, no cost.
Cool.
Sign me up.
Mr. Cantrell, do you have anything for the board today?
Yes, Judge, mostly I've been working on land cleanup, to include porting some, disconnecting some lines, porting some over to our Volkswagen Route B system. The next phase of that would be focused on the fax lines, we're gonna have to order some special devices that can convert from, to make the fax machines work. Beyond that, computer replacements, kind of, she was saying, business as usual.
Emergency management?
Pretty much business as usual, but other than, we got the preliminary approval from FEMA for the hazard mitigation plan, all the jurisdictions did. So all the jurisdictions, when they got an email to pass that through their governing bodies. Well, FEMA can give a rubber stamp to everybody, which that's a requirement for grant funds.
Awesome. Sure.
Thanks, Joe, clear cases, get rest. Had a few complaints, in the school zones. I've got some deputies out there this morning, and probably did this afternoon, as well, just, people driving a little crazy, so. Other than that, it's good.
Awesome. Miss Sue, Miss Phoebe?
Things are going good, we're working, trying to get the last of our audit things, uploaded to the outside auditors. We're successful in getting, we've received 3 of the FEMA payments for precinct 1 that we have been waiting for since 22, so we're happy, we're working on the last one. And, then they allowed us to, put in for some administrative time, so we have another small claim that'll help the general road and bridge fund. That's where the people were paid from at the time. Also with David's help, we got back some money for precinct 1. Precinct 1 is doing good. We had a Caterpillar payment that we got back from now. They misbilled us or something. Anyway, we're just trying to keep things moving along.
Appreciate that.
Doug, you have anything?
Work's doing well, been working with the district clerk's office, we're finally getting the front facing defended, the access portal, that's been an ongoing project. I mean, we've got movement on that now, so we should have that up and running hopefully here pretty quick, and I think that'll really help the court process, and just be more streamlined. Other than that, I didn't really have anything to.
Awesome. For my office, in reference to your county road, 3369, I was contacted by multiple citizens that live out there. I've asked Nexus or Project Egg, whatever they're calling themselves today, to sign something that says they're gonna do all the things they said they promised they'd do. So far it's been crickets. So I did mention that we could have civil recourse, the county could have civil recourse against them. Should they not, so. I'm imagining we'll be meeting. And we'll see if they'll actually put their promises on paper. Alright. We'll go ahead and move forward. This will be our time for open forum. If you're here for open forum, just come approach the podium, tell me your name, you got 5 minutes. And I will settle the time here. Or 15.
Judge, Commissioner, faculty, and law enforcement. My name is Sheila Cheek. I moved here when I was 8 years old. Raised my family here, and some of my family still here, lives here. And I'm here today about transparency. And when you meet behind closed doors without giving the people notice, you lose their respect and their trust. I know deals are already made. All I can ask for is for you to stop, wait, and listen. To proceed with what you're doing might make Hillsborough and surrounding areas a ghost town because we can't live without water or electricity, and it's already going up. So I would like for the Sunshine Law to be recognized. The Bible says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." You are running people's lives, so please do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm Richard Braywick. And I want to say happy Confederate History Month for April, okay? And I want to say thank you to all you guys who are working and women who are working to support Hill County, okay? Thank you very much. That's all, and especially him, he's my commissioner, so there you go. Y'all be good.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. My name is Mary Costa. This is now the third time that I've spoken to you regarding data centers and so-called green energy projects. Please keep in mind that the people who own these entities, the data centers, the green energy, they have absolutely no ties to Hill County, zero. They're seeking to take advantage of our relatively inexpensive crop and pasture land. They're looking to exploit the lack of building codes, ordinances, and protections that folks in the city have. They care nothing for our children, our families, and our rural way of life. And once they have drained all that they can out of the land, they will be gone. And we will be forced with the toxic fallout since they are sheltered through layers of corporate structure. The EDC summit, while meant to calm our fears, only reinforced that even officials at the state level know nothing of or little of life in a rural county such as ours. One of the gentlemen actually said that if a fire should occur, it could easily be handled by a fire department. But what he doesn't realize is that we only have one paid fire department in the county. I don't know if any of you have had the experience of our 50-mile-an-hour winds and something causing a spark in a pasture and it coming towards your house, but it's not a good feeling. I'm not advocating for more fire departments. Our neighbors help us, we help each other. And we don't have the resources to do that should something occur. Our volunteer fire departments, they're good people, but they have real jobs where they have to have real jobs so they can get paid. And there are too many times when coverage is very thin. We must work with state and federal officials to make sure our families and our land is protected. We have great farmland. I've heard it said, well, farmers are making so much more, their crops are producing so much more. That may be true, but that's on a good year. We have drought years too. When foreign governments want to, or even our government wants to take advantage of the people, take away their food, and see how fast chaos, how dependent we are on the government. Nobody wants that. Please protect our land. Please protect our farmers and our families. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good morning there, Commissioner's Court. How are we doing there, Judge?
Doing well.
You look well today, thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. State your name real quick. Hold on.
Basil Zangari, since everybody thinks I hide behind a screen name on Facebook. I'm actually out here in the open with my name said all the time, so I'll address that. I want to talk about corruption in Hill County because there's a lot of things that tie into it, like the data center. You guys are elected by these people. You represent these people. You took an oath to represent these people. So I don't know why the backdoor deals are happening back there. You should be listening to these people. I don't know anybody that's come here that said, hey, let's put a data center in. Everybody here is against it. We got one going in down there in Hubbard that I'm dealing with and got files of evidence of all the illegal stuff that's happened. That's why I'm here to see David Holmes today, but he didn't show up for court because he's got something else going on. And all these people that are here don't want 2 data centers or 3 data centers that are now talking about coming into the city of Hillsborough. The city manager can't even get replacement of old water pipes right here in just this area downtown. So why should we even allow that to come in and take up more water, cause more water rates to go up for everybody that lives here in Hillsborough? I mean, I know this is county, but some of you guys probably do live in Hillsborough downtown or know somebody that does. I know you work here, so that affects you guys as well. Kill it, just kill it until she gets her stuff straight. The city, don't allow any of this stuff to come in. Hill College is tied deep into this. Some of you, I do have evidence on you guys that you guys are involved in some backdoor deals. I'm not gonna put that out now because I'm still looking into some solid stuff that's gonna come out. Speaking of corruption, I'm gonna move off the data centers because they've got enough to say about it. I want to talk about the jail. You worked at the jail. You ran the jail. Okay. Why am I now getting reports that his jailers, who are probably most likely trained by you or fell under his terrain, are doctoring up the rec logs? I have an eyewitness that witnessed 2 to 3 jailers doing it. I've got proof of it. Okay. I told you a month ago, have it inspected. I want rangers in there, which is useless because the rangers out of Waco are corrupt as well. But we do need an outside law enforcement agency to come investigate that jail. They don't investigate the 80% of the stuff that was marked NA. Something's going on. I know about Hunter Barnes's nonprofit organization. I know about all the nonprofits and the businesses you guys own on the side where money is probably most likely being funneled. I'm looking into that right now. So if y'all are involved in something, walk away. Just get out of here right now, because when the criminal charges and the complaints start coming, I will force the AG to prosecute like we already are covered. That's what this flash drive is. I've already filed a complaint on the mayor itself. I do not have a problem frying you. You are public officials. I am not afraid of you. Kill me, hurt me, jail me. Doesn't matter. I will go down. I got nothing to lose. I want you to know that right now. Every single one of you. If you are guilty and involved in something, I will fry you, just like you fried a citizen the other day without showing proper evidence in the district court up there in the district judge. I heard about that district court. It was probably the ADA. I don't know if that was him or not. But there's a lot of corruption going on, backdoor deals between judges, prosecutors. And I'm not going to put those names out there. It may be you, it may not be you. But I'm not going to indulge that right now at this court. How much more time do I got?
1:35.
Thank you. So I'm really pushing for each one of you. Go look at the jail. Go find out. I want the logs looked at. I seriously want the logs looked at. I want the conditions of the jail looked at. Just because someone sits out of that jail and was arrested does not mean they are guilty. They have to have their day in court. Like every person, due process. Okay. I've seen a lot of illegal civil rights violations on body cams from Hill County Sheriff's Department. They're this close to having an outside federal agency come in. You don't want that because you're going to be on oversight for probably the next 10 years. That's all I do is accountability of corrupt government officials, mostly police officers. That's what I specialize in. But lately I've been going after, because it's just easy. You guys are flamboyant about what you guys do here. You know, look at what happened with the cancellation of this commissioner's court. I'm the one that killed this court because you guys were in violation of the Open Meetings Act. And now we have it here today. Just like I did at the EDC meeting last week. Half these people will probably already know about it or seen it. I will continue to kill these things using the law because I don't break the law. So at this point, I would, if I have any time left and there's a statement of fact, and we can get a statement of fact, I'd like Sheriff Barnes to go ahead and address the doctored up rec logs and the jail conditions. And also, candidate for precinct 4, David Gelstrip, I've got all the police files from all the departments. That will be coming out right before early voting, including the wife that was terminated from Joshua as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else for open forum?
I'm Glenn Watson. Live in Peoria, Texas. Lived here for 42 years. known most of y'all for all that time. I want to thank y'all for doing what y'all have done. Most people don't realize what it takes to get up here and do what y'all do. I didn't know y'all was that gum corrupt. I think doggone. Woo! Glad y'all ain't got in my pocket. But
You work for me for 11, I can't say that.
I have. I've worked for you about 17 years and I appreciate that offer, that chance to be able to work for you. Man, anytime I've ever called and asked any of y'all to do something to the roads, y'all pretty much obliged me. Most people in this county do not realize how much money it takes to keep a road up. When you're paying nearly $500 per load of rock to go on the road, that's your fuel, your man hours, your rock, your insurance, everything per load. And when you have somebody drag half of it off of a road to put in their driveway 100 yards, that's theft there from the county. So when you talk about corrupt, look at the people that are taking rock off the roads as well. People can say what they want to. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the 17 years that I worked for the county. I appreciate a paycheck. I appreciate the fact that the taxpayers pay the taxes. If they want better roads, the only thing that y'all have a chance of doing is having to go up on taxes. And I know for a fact that the judge has tried not to go up on the taxes, but he's had to do so because we can't get our roads fixed the way they need to be fixed. You don't have much easement to make much ditches. So there's where we go with it. And people want to really get on to everybody about it, but that's just a fact. Thank y'all.
Thanks, sir.
Good morning, everyone. How are
Morning.
you doing today?
Doing well.
It's also my casual Friday, as it was for the father. So I got a message and I'm sure.
What's your name?
Oh, sorry. My name's Corey Miller. I've lived here for half a decade now. I'm a 8-year Army veteran. I got a message last night, I'm sure as most of these people did, that says the city of Hillsborough water notice due to multiple water line breaks, downtown water tower has been shut off for repairs. All customers west of Chow Street have been affected, will be affected for approximately 5 hours. I get one of these messages at least once a month. But yet we're going to put in something that's going to take even more of our resources away from us. While we're paying for even higher bills. So we're getting less water, less reliably for more money. 37 houses in Hillsborough are set to be sold. Most of them have been on the market for multiple months now. Even more of them have been held open for rent without any renters. We're losing individuals, and from a number of the ones that I've spoke to that are moving out, it's because of cost of the city, cost of living here. So we're going to make that more for whatever reason. That makes sense. I don't understand why we are worrying about data centers when none of them has made money in the AI market. The AI bubble is collapsing, as we know. Multiple investors, including large companies like Disney, is pulling out of AI. So why are we sacrificing our farmlands for AI and solar? Does anybody know? No.
I'd like to know.
I would like to know too. I would also like a vote for it instead of just y'all deciding.
Yes, thank you.
Because y'all can promise all you want, but promises from the government is like the smell of rain in a desert. So I want to vote. I want transparency, and if I get none of that, you will have double of the amount of move outs of Hillsborough, if not triple.
And I can also promise none of y'all will make it back into Hillsborough's government. We will vote you out, just like multiple counties who have tried to do this got voted out. You are for us people. We have heard that none of you want this data center. So why are we putting it in if no one wants it? Let us know.
Somebody else for open forum.
As my time is limited, what I have to say today, I have a timeline of events and concerns that I would like to hand out, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Here you go, here's one for each one of you. You can all pass these out. I'll have enough copies. If I don't, you just have to share it.
There's one more, somebody needs one out. Oh,
One extra, okay,
yes, ma'am.
thank you so much. Here's the next one. Okay, so,
Okay, I haven't started your time. yet.
okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so there's a few more.
And then, before you start, take your name.
Oh, yes, okay. Bear with me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm Linda Polly. I'm here on behalf of the Save Hill County Group. Today, the agenda has 2 items on tax abatement guidelines, items 21 and 22. Item 21 relates to rescinding the 6th amended and restated Hill County tax abatement guidelines. Item 22 relates to potential action on 7th amended and restated Hill County tax abated guidelines. On behalf of Save Hill County, I was immediately concerned with the original posting, as under the text code chapter 312, guidelines are mandated. They only last 2 years and must be adopted after a public hearing. To have a public hearing, the hearing should be posted and the applicable information must be available for the public to review before the public hearing. Based on the original posting, I was concerned about the possible adoption of the 7th amended guideline of tax abatements without transparency and public input. So on behalf of Save Hill County, I requested the proposed draft 7 amended guidelines so it could be available to Hill County taxpayers who care about these abatements and incentives that you as a court have been giving. In response to my request, Judge Brazel emailed me and said, at this stage, no new draft has been adopted, finalized, or created, and the posted agenda item is for discussion and consideration of next steps. Having already reviewed the agenda information, I was pleased to see that the 6th amended guidelines actually have some beneficial and protective language for Hill County residents, because God only knows 4 and 5 certainly did not. And while there could be some clarity added to certain provisions, overall, the 6th amended guidelines were far superior to any prior guidelines that would have likely reduced many of the problems Hill County residents are currently experiencing with abatements granted under prior guidelines that had no real protection for us Hill County residents. I then followed up with Judge Brazel to confirm that Commissioners Court would not be acting on item 21. Rescheduling the existing 6th amended guidelines until a proposed guideline could be publicly coordinated and reviewed. As the 6th amended guidelines published in this meeting's agenda packet, which I'm sure all you have, actually have some positive language intended to, and I quote, protect public infrastructure, natural resources, emergency services, and the quality of life of Hill County residents. Specifically, these include items like minimum setbacks, more than 500 feet for a 599-foot wind turbine, light flickering protection and other protective provisions. You all can read them for yourself later as I attach them to the document that I provided. Being very concerned that the Commissioners Court was considering rescinding the Sixth Amended Guideline, the only version of the guidelines that provides some protection to citizens, I emailed Judge Brazel to confirm that the Sixth Amended Guidelines would not be rescinded until a new version was drafted and properly coordinated in a public hearing. Judge Brazel emailed me back and would not confirm that the Sixth Amended Guidelines containing the positive language would not be rescinded. However, he did state, it is my opinion that if the current abatement guidelines were rescinded before new guidelines were adopted, then Hill County should not consider or approve any tax abatement agreements until replacement guidelines are in place. So let me ask you this question. Why the rush to rescind guidelines that actually have some protective provisions at this point? And now comes the really frightening part for all of us citizens here at Hill County, which makes us ask, what is actually really going on? Because the version of the Sixth Amended Guidelines posted online by the county as a part of the agenda for the public to review, which became a part of that agenda for today, it wasn't signed or fully dated, and the pages were misnumbered. So I requested from Ms. Nicole Tanner here an official version of the document because I wanted to understand exactly when the Sixth Amended Guideline came into effect and what abatements might be impacted by these guidelines. Now comes the really shocking and really disturbing part for us. So listen carefully. When I received a copy of the Sixth Amended Guidelines document from Nicole Tanner, the document was signed and it was dated. However, it is not the same document as what was posted in today's agendas packet. And so everyone is going, what is happening here? And so the version supplied by Nicole Tanner appears to be the same document, but the last 5 pages of the document were omitted. And so, you know, the pages that contain the protected provisions for the citizens. Again, what's going on here? So I took it a step further. I went to the county clerk's office. Okay, on Wednesday. And so I got the official document here. And once again, it still doesn't have those 5 pages attached to it. So, so someone else want?
John Loveless,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to extend my time back to Linda.
Okay. So clearly the last 5 pages are posted on the agenda are not a part of the official document that is on file here at Hill County. And so it has nothing about the public infrastructure or the emergency services or the quality of life of Hill County residents. So I think what we're wanting to know here is why were they published on the agenda, but it's not part of the official document. So this leads to some of us really asking some fundamental questions. How can we trust the county to protect citizens and taxpayers when the documents in the public record, today's agenda packet on pages 18 through 32 do not match records provided by Nicole Tanner in response to my request on behalf of Save Hill County? Why was I provided a copy of the document different from that in today's agenda package, which did not include the protective pages? Where did the protective language go? And the document provided to me, the last 5 pages are once again still missing. Why is the Commissioners Court planning to rescind a document that has some protective provisions for citizens before drafting an alternative and making it publicly available? Clearly, there are terms that were prepared to protect the quality of life of Hill County residents. Why is there a heated rush to rescind these terms and bury them before the public becomes aware? Why did the original agenda, before questions were asked, have an item posted to rescind the Sixth Amendment and then an agenda item to discuss a 7th Amendment if there is no draft version in existence? What was the original plan here? Is the Commissioners Court going to hold a public hearing and make an actual draft publicly available before the meeting for citizens and taxpayers to consider as the law requires? And as the item of significant interest here is, will the Commissioners Court please consider holding their public hearings after 5 p.m. so that working citizens can attend and participate. And we're always continually told, the meetings are held when y'all can all get together. Well, I mean, I don't think any of us understand anymore why it's easier to get together at 8:30 in the morning as it would be opposed to be at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So folks, I don't know what is happening, but the issue is extremely concerning. We're just asking for answers. We just want to understand. And where are the 5 missing pages? Did y'all even know that those 5 pages weren't a part of the original document? We don't know. And what was the purpose of it? I mean, we're willing to listen to that. I mean, it's just concerning to us. And before the Commissioner's Court takes any further action on these tax abatement guidelines or grants any further tax abatements, I mean, we all need to figure out why there are different versions of the existing guidelines for one thing. And by law has the legitimate guidelines for tax abatements in place. And has there been a public process with citizens' input before these guidelines are adopted? And then it comes to the fact that the concerning situation that each member of this court needs to consider answering the questions that we've raised today. And, you know, we presented a resolution to the court on March the 26th with some guidelines that we all felt protected us. We were told that it would be reviewed, and we even said, if you change the wording to make it fit better to the situation, great. But no one's put that on the agenda at this point. We don't even know at this point how many of you even actually read it, but we really wish you would consider it. And, you know, recently you gave tax abatements and incentives to wind and solar. The data center pulled out. And so as a result of all of this, we're seeing major changes in this county, which are adversely affecting our quality of life and property values. And we all know, as y'all say, people have the right to do what they want to with their property. We all understand that. But the big issue here is this. If Van Zandt County can pass their abatement and actually have what they said were turbines already be in place, but because of their stringent guidelines, they have pulled out. Why can't we? And I want to ask another question. We don't even have a fire marshal. They have a fire marshal at Van Zandt County that he'll talk to any of y'all because he's talked to me. And he goes out every day and he looks at these situations. He chains them off. He blocks them out because he actually knows what type of laws they're breaking. Do we have anyone in this county that is protecting us to know? Does anyone know even what NextEra is doing?
My name is William Zimmerman, and I'm going to cede my time to Linda Pauley.
Okay, thank you, Will.
You're welcome.
So, and just because all of these things are flooding in, and guys, we know it's a hard road because Governor Abbott, I mean, the requirements that he has sent down, there's no protection for y'all either. And, you know, we commend you for the resolution that you're willing to send to them. I mean, that's a great first step. But we also need a resolution to protect us. And you know, we're all willing to talk to each one of you or to all of you, you know, at a hearing to understand why it is you don't feel we need these protections for us at this time. And I mean, we don't want y'all to feel that we're not appreciative of y'all because it's a hard job. Any elected position is a hard job. You don't ever have enough money, do you, Scott? Mm-hmm. And anyway, and the roads are garbage, thanks to all our great solar and wind people that have no respect for any of us. Nor the fact that we've all lived here most of all our life. And they're just here to make the fast buck. And unfortunately, we've got citizens here that all they see is money. And that's what's wrong with this country. All they see is money, you know? And it's kind of like, you know, when do we stop selling our soul to the devil? Because actually, when you listen to the Senate Commerce and hearing that was on April the 6th, they explicitly point out that this solar and data and wind, it's not contributing really anything to the energy grid. Those aren't my words. That's their words. And so then I'm going to take it a little bit farther here. Also in that particular meeting, the Seeley from ERCOT, he explicitly points out when he's asked, who is monitoring these components on the wind and data and solar? This is what he says. We're leaving it up to them to let us know that they're not using a part from China that could invade our infrastructure. Oh my God, really? And so then he admits there are no boots on the ground, guys, to validate any of this hardware. And I want to ask you something. Have any of you gone and looked at all the violations that NextEra has had? I mean, you can go, there's a website to go to. Guys, they have been fined over and over again for parts from the Chinese government for not having their windmills on the map as to where they're supposed to be. And yet we have no one here looking, is what I'm saying. And I spoke, and I'll be straight up with you. I spoke to this Dion, whatever his name is, with NextEra this week. And I asked him about these setbacks on these windmills. And he assures me, this is what he says, that he's been in contact with all of you. I've recorded it. And so somebody can listen to it. He claims to me that it is their guideline that there is not a wind turbine that's more than less than 1,500 feet from a property line. Guys, that's a lie. We've got Adam Schomfrat over here. He's got one less than 800 and something from his house. So what we're saying is here, how can we join forces with you guys to help protect us? That's all we're asking. And if that's going down to Austin to meet with Paxton and saying, hey, you've created this guideline packet of all of this, then let's sit down and make this work. And so anyway, and once again, thank you. Thank you for listening to us. And, and like I said, please don't think that we're just throwing rocks and shooting bullets at you, because that is not it at all. At this point, actually, we fear for our lives at this point.
Yes, we do.
And anyway, and the last thing I want to tell you is we want to talk about progress. Well, progress is only good when it's actually benefiting all of mankind. At this point, what we're seeing going on is nothing but, in our view, a lot of ours, and don't correct me if I'm wrong, it's the devil's work.
Five minutes.
Okay. So
Adam's rock, she's.
So my question here is this: Are we actually seeing progression, or are we seeing ourselves in a cage? And we all believe we're being put in a cage.
Amen.
And when these data centers come in, and every time, we all said a long time ago, iPhones came out to do nothing but track us. Well, those data centers are going to do nothing but track us. They're going to know everything you buy. They're going to know where you went. They're going to know what you did. And so basically, mark of the beast. We're seeing revelations right now.
Yes, we are.
And I mean, we have got to, as Texans, not just Texans, we have to, as citizens of the United States, to say no, just like Maine has said no. Go and tell Abbott, we're tired of this garbage. But Maine now has voted no data centers, people. And we all follow all this stuff. Y'all can too. And I know you got a lot of other things to do than pay attention to all this. So in regards to the resolution, we just want to read it so it gets on the record. It says that a resolution of the Hill County Commissioners Court regarding here we go. Do I need to hand it out to you?
Go ahead and read it, and then you can hand it out.
Okay.
If you like.
Here we go. Okay, so a resolution of the Hill County Commissioners Court regarding the preservation of agricultural land, environmental integrity,
and property values and prohibiting the use of county tax abatements and economic incentives for certain industrial developments. Whereas Hill County, Texas is a predominantly rural and agricultural community whose economy, culture, and heritage are deeply rooted in farming, ranching, and the stewardship of open lands. And whereas the Hill County Commissioners Court recognized the importance of preserving and protecting the agriculture and rural character of the county for current and future generations. And whereas the preservation of open space, productive farmland, and natural landscapes contribute to the environmental health, ecological balance, and overall quality of life within Hill County. And whereas the Commissioners Court finds that the protection of natural resources, including soil, water, air quality, and native habitats, is essentially to the long-term sustainability and resilience of the county. And whereas wildlife and native ecosystems within Hill County provide ecological, recreational, and economic value, and their protection is in the public interest. And whereas the Commissioners Court acknowledges growing concerns that certain large-scale industrial developments, including but not limited to wind energy facilities, solar energy facilities, data centers, and crypto energy mining operations may adversely impact the rural landscape, natural resources, and existing land uses. Whereas such developments may contribute to the industrialization of agricultural lands, resulting in the conversion of productive farmland into industrial uses that are incompatible with traditional rural land use patterns. And whereas the Commissioner Courts find that such industrial uses may create adverse environmental impacts, including but not limited to increased water usage, land disturbance, noise pollution, light pollution, waste generation, and impact to wildlife inhabitants. And whereas there is concern that the proximity of such industrial developments to residential and agricultural properties may result in the mutation of property values and interfere with the use and enjoyment of private property. And whereas the Commissioners Court has a duty to promote and protect the public health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Hill County. And whereas the continued use of public funds, tax abatements, and or other economic incentives to encourage or subsidize such developments and contrary to the public interest or further development of wind energy facilities, solar energy facilities, data centers is inconsistent with the county's character, environmental priorities, and land use values. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Hill County Commissioners Court as follows. Section 1 policy statement. The Hill County Commissioners Court hereby affirms its commitment to preserving and protecting the agriculture and rural nature of the county, protecting environmental quality and avoiding adverse environmental impacts, conserving wildlife and natural habitats, reducing further industrialization of agricultural land, and safeguarding property values and the quiet enjoyment of land by county residents. Section 2. Provision for further incentives. The Hill County Commissioners Court hereby declares that Hill County shall not offer, approve, grant, or support the use of tax abatements, economic incentives, or other financial inducements for the purpose of encouraging facility and subsidizing the development or operation of wind energy facilities, solar energy facilities, and data centers, cryptocurrency or digital asset mining facilities, including Bitcoin mining operations within the jurisdiction of Hill County, Texas. Number 3, public interest determination. The Commissioners Court finds that further incentivizing development of the above referenced facilities in Hill County is inconsistent with the public interest due potential degradation of public health and quality of life, adverse impacts on property values, detrimental effects on natural resources, including land, water, and wildlife, and incompatibility with the county's agriculture, heritage, and rural land use pattern. And section 4 is, if any provision of this resolution is held to be invalid or enforceable, such determination shall not affect the remaining provisions, which shall remain in force and in effect. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you listening.
Anybody else here for open forum? No one else in the room? Anybody online? No one online? All right. We'll go ahead and move into the consent agenda. Consent agenda is action on minutes, invoices, payroll, monthly. Report for revenue and disbursement and observe and or report elected officials training.
The motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Jesus. All right. As those are finishing up going around, we'll move on to number one, discuss interaction on employee wage or status changes. We have a wage change for Tricia Edge, Taylor Smith, Vanessa Ventura, and new hires, Frank Urbanowski, Francis Messina, Turlington, and Waylon Ramfield.
Make a motion approved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number two, observe and record Hill County CPS Board Treasurer Report in March 2026.
Make a motion to go.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number three is observe and record proclamation for Child Abuse Awareness Prevention Month, April 2026. This states, whereas in state fiscal year 2025, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed over 51,000 to 57,241 victims of child abuse or neglect. And whereas children are among our nation's most vulnerable members and also the most vulnerable valuable resource, helping to shape the future of Texas. And whereas child abuse and neglect can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that may result in lifelong consequences for victims and their family. And whereas protective factors are conditions in families and communities that help mitigate risk and foster the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention efforts succeed through strong collaborative partnerships among child welfare agencies, educators, health professionals, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, and law enforcement. And whereas communities must work together to promote programs and initiatives that strengthen family and protect children. And whereas we recognize the importance of increasing public awareness, engaging in prevention efforts, and promoting safe, stable, and nurturing environments where children and families can thrive. And whereas prevention remains the most effective defense against child abuse. April 2026 is National Child Abuse Prevention Month in Hillsborough and throughout Hill County. And I urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to improving the lives of children and families.
Make motion to approve the report.
I'm approved. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 4, observe and record monthly reports from the fee offices for January 2026 and February 2026.
Make motion to observe the report.
I have a motion to observe and report and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, presentation from Hill County Extension Agent for 4-H Youth Development, Angie Norris, regarding the interpretation and updates about the 4-H youth outreach and curriculum activities.
Good morning.
How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to come and give y'all an update this morning on the great things that our kids are doing in the county. We have a current enrollment of 165 kids, which is up about almost 40 kids from where we're here. We're growing back after COVID. It kind of went down, and so we're finally getting our numbers back to where they should be. We have kids participating all the way from shooting sports, duds to dazzle, photography, public speaking, livestock projects, food challenge contest, everything that we can offer, they're pretty much participating in right now. We, in our office, the educational and promotional sessions that we've done, we've had 93 of those where we have reached 6,352 people since the 1st of September, and we still have until the end of August to go for our year. So we have a lot of things planned. I currently am doing hatching in the classroom, educational curriculum with the schools. I've got 35 incubators out in seven different campuses. So we're spread all over the county, all the way from Covington to Mount Home, which is a great thing. We have up to this point had 118 volunteers assist us with programs. That's including the 26 registered volunteers we have in 4-H online. So those people are our club managers, the ones that help us with camps that are directly our shooting sports coaches, the ones that are directly involved with the kids every day are extreme volunteers. On the next page, you'll see where I have 14 current clubs. I have 1 state 4-H officer who is also a district 4-H officer. We have 1 Texas 4-H youth livestock ambassador, a Healthy Texas youth ambassador, and 2 Texas shooting sports team members that will be going to the national contest this year. 1 is an alternate, so we'll see if he gets to go or not, but 1 for sure is going to participate right now. In progress and upcoming things we have hatching in the classroom that's going on. We have our district rifle match tomorrow, actually, where we have 6 kids going. We have our Duds to Dazzle contest on Monday. Texas 4-H Roundup will be the first week in June. We have 1 young man that'll be going and speaking and competing in the state public speaking contest where he placed 2nd at district this past week. So we're really proud of him. We have kids going to compete in 2 weeks in livestock judging contest in College Station. We have our Surge and Southeast District 8 County camps coming up this summer in June and July. That we usually have anywhere from 6 to 12 kids go to Surge and upwards of 40 kids go into county camp. So that one is a really big one for us. And then this summer we have planned, with the help of our new FCH agent and our entomologist, we are going to put on a bug camp for the kids this summer. So it's going to be really fun to explore different types of bugs and where they live and
they're even talking about cricket flour and making things with cricket flour, so I will see how that goes. And then we're gonna put on a kitchen camp as well to help kids learn how to cook and do different things. So those are things that we're looking forward to this summer. The bottom part in the last 2 pages, I won't go through those hand in hand or in detail, but you can read through there and see the programs and the things that we have kids involved in all the way from the state level down to the county level. We had a record number of kids compete in livestock shows this year. I had more kids than ever go to compete in county show. We had 76 kids with 179 projects. And that doesn't even count our creative arts kids. That's just livestock projects, AgMech, commercial steers and horse show. So that is unbelievable. The commercial steer contest, I'm in charge of that contest and it's grown. We've kind of hovered at 7 to 8 kids the last couple of years, but we have, I think 11 have spoken out that they want to participate this summer. So we'll see, or this upcoming year. So we'll see how that progresses with cattle prices the way they are. It's kind of gotten hard, but we have kids that are participating at the major show levels with those, and they're mainly the ones that are taking part in that right now. So, and that group is growing as well. Our Day in the Ring show, which is our special needs show, we had 65 youth participants this year and 40 teachers and paraprofessionals. 72 youth volunteers helped us with that. And if y'all don't know what that is, that's where we allow special needs kids to come to the fairgrounds. And we have our youth volunteers that come in with their lambs and goats and help them around the ring and get to experience being there in the ring with a lamb or a goat. And just getting to touch it for some of them is a big deal. So we're really proud of that program. The rest of that is just our Fort Worth, San Angelo, San Antonio, and Houston and Austin results that we had. 35 kids going to Houston this year. That is unheard of for our county. And so the same with San Antonio. I was there for a full 2 weeks with those kids at both shows. So just to show y'all the involvement that we have. New coming up for this next, the ending of 25 and coming or 26 and going into 27, we're going to be starting a vet science program. Have a volunteer that has stepped up that wants to do that. We have a grant where we're able to participate purchase the online curriculum and supplies for that, where kids will get hands-on experience with things related to vet science. And if they choose to pursue it, they can walk away with a certificate, a vet science certificate, and it helps them get jobs in vet clinics. And it helps them also, if they want to go into that school, they have that certification already and proves that they've been involved in that. So we're really excited about that program and to get it kicked off. We should be able to purchase the curriculum May 1st. So we're excited about that. And we also have a gentleman, and at this time I can't share his name because he's not given me permission to do that publicly yet, but he is building us a shooting range at his place outside of so it's already in the works. The berm is built for the kids to shoot into. He's pouring concrete for them to have to shoot off of. And so we're really, really excited about that and hoping that we can build our program back to where it was as we get better facilities to do those things. So that is where we are. We're really excited for what's to come. And do y'all have any questions about anything?
Good job.
Thank y'all for your time and thank you for support.
There's opportunities for them in the future.
There are.
It's for the future.
There are, and we're really looking forward to it. So
My grandson will be at the Austin Livestock Show as part of his internship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Veteran thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. But thank y'all for your support with our program, because without y'all, we couldn't do what we do, and I wouldn't be able to travel with the kids and be with them like I am. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, on to number 6, discuss interaction on monthly bank balances for March 2026.
Make a motion approved.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Hey, Judge, excuse me for just a moment. I still step away from you right here because I'm having a hard time hearing y'all on it. Oh, never mind, they think I'm sorry.
Number 7, discuss interaction on fiscal year 2027 unemployment rate. Unemployment fund rate for 2027, excuse me.
No.
Do I have any discussion?
Looks like we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, well, set by, not us.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's not something that we have any control over.
I'll make a motion approved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Number 8. Discuss interaction on the fiscal year 2027 TCDRS rate.
Make a motion to accept.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 9, discuss interaction regarding the contract between TXLOXP and all Porter County constables for searches and reports offered through TransUnion Risk and Alternate Data Solution. You have any constables here?
Speaking of it.
Do we have any constables online? Let's see it.
Table it.
Yep. We'll go ahead and table that. To let them explain it better to you. Number 10, discuss interaction on budget amendment in the amount of $25,406 for the Hill County Sheriff's Office to purchase replacement washers for the Hill County Jail. Sheriff Barnes, would you like to? This, the next couple of ones, I guess, of yours. Problem.
All right, so as y'all know, the jail opened the facility in 2002. New equipment was purchased for that facility. The same equipment is still there. We had one washer go down, and another's on the brink, so we need to replace those washers as quickly as possible. We've got a few bids and chose to go with the company that currently maintenances our washer and dryers now. Their service has been good. The new washers will have a 200G spin cycle, so it's gonna get most of the water out, so it'll be less work and wear and tear on our dryers as well. So we have the money in other line items, and we're just requesting it get moved over. No new money needed.
Make a motion to accept the budget amendment.
Second.
A motion to accept the budget amendment, amount of $25,406. All in favor, say aye.
No.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next one is the approval of the purchase of the laundry equipment, washing machine in the amount of $25,406 from Ed Brown Distributors for Hill County Sheriff's Office for the Hill County Jail.
Make a motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, discuss interaction on an agreement between Hill County and the Texas LISO program, aka what used to be known as the 1033 program, via the U.S. Department of Defense for state claims of operation.
So this has been in place for years. This is just government issued equipment. We have to audit it every year, send in our list of items that we have. And just requesting, nothing's changed in the contract, the same every year. Just requesting approval to continue with that. I know that yesterday, I believe, I'd sent correspondence saying that there were some items that we didn't need anymore. You can't just get rid of them. You have to give them back if they'll take them back. I believe it was Burleson County Sheriff's Office has requested a transfer, so we had to do the ATF paperwork, waiting for all that to get approved, and then them to advise us to transfer those weapons. So other than that, it's just normal
Administrative
paperwork, and we still have possession of those items.
Make a motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 13, discuss interaction on Hill County Sheriff's Office applying for the Texas Senate Bill 8 grant.
Okay, so we are in compliance with the 287G, which is the ICE agreement at our jail. We have the warrant service program. This allows us to apply for a $80,000 grant that can be used in the facility for either equipment training, any type of, the way it's explained in the bill, any type of need that reflects the housing of an immigrant that may be being deported or have an ICE hold. So that pretty much leaves it open for anything, improvements, painting, equipment. So I just need to apply for it, and I haven't applied for it without court approval.
Make a motion to approve for grant.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Number 14, discuss interaction on contract for WAN, Wide Area Network Services between Hill County and Lightstream Network LLC to provide fiber optic services to 4 Hill County sites for a term of 5 years at a rate of $2,000 per month.
Judge, Commissioners, so we currently have a network currently provided by AT&T that connects the courthouse, the sheriff's office, the Covington Annex, and the EOC/Development Services building together for internal network traffic. We have a gentleman here from Lightstream that can speak to you if you have any questions for him, but he can save us $522 a month and give us a 10-fold increase in our bandwidth. So we're saving money and getting a lot more speed.
And this is already in your budget?
Yes, sir. This will actually be saving money in my budget, but about $522 a month.
Make a motion to accept it.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Anybody want to ask Mr. Lightspeed?
I just have a question, Judge. I saw this at another city council meeting. How do we know they're in the contract? They're not gonna try to come back and ask for more money mid-contract. That's the only concern that I have about the saving, but that's the angle they use over there, saving money. And then halfway through, they try to get a rate increase above y'all in the contract.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. What's your name, sir?
Daniel McNamara.
Mr. McNamara. Generally, without the court's recognition, we don't let the audience speak, but would you like to address that question?
All right, we're concerned with contract. We've gone through good negotiations with the IT department and the court attorney, for $2,000, so we're gonna charge them.
The contract has been reviewed, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Holmes has reviewed it. Yes, that's right.
Any further questions, gentlemen? All right, I'll call the vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion, we did have motion. Yes, okay. Number 15, discuss interaction on purchasing an asphalt reclaimer through the Bible.
That is mine. The machine we have is over 40 years old. And don't know, last time we had work done to it, it was like $7,000 or $8,000. And as much work I've got to do, I don't know whether it's going to stay together. But so I'm seeking a reclaimer, Bomax reclaimer.
And he just tried to sell me the old one for $200.
It don't hurt to
Not
try.
bad.
Friends
I
like
already
you.
own half of it.
I make a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right. Discuss interaction on financing options from government capital for an asphalt reclaimer for precinct number 2 in the amount of $539,949.
Yeah, right. I pride myself on not borrowing money and gotten by with the equipment I have in the precinct, like my motor graders are 08, 09 model. You know, we maintain them, keep them up. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it can be, I've got plans for it to use. And it may come about that may have to help another precinct or so at some one time or another with that little toy, they've got, so. I make a motion. for
Well,
that.
let me ask you a question. How is the financing structured?
Well, the machine listed for $697,000.
Right?
And after the discounts is $539,000 and those few other numbers. And the financing is the next one, government capital.
No, we're on financing right now.
Yeah,
We're on.
yeah, with government capital, yes.
Ms. Susan,
I had I presented two options. On financing, I think over 4 or 5 years.
4 years, 4 years was $145,000 a year, 5 years were $119,000 a year for 5 years.
And the interest rate stays the same.
Sir,
And the interest rate stays the same on both.
interest rate
those
stays the
options.
same.
that's what I was
So, I'm gonna go with the 5 years. And make a payment this year and then pursue after that. I make a motion to seek the financing.
of the 5 years.
Yes, 5 years.
Second.
Yeah.
Motion and second, yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
There goes your budget.
Do what?
There goes your budget.
Yeah. But I plan on. Make,
Action on the resolution regarding a contract for the purpose of finding that asphalt.
the contract was with Apple Credit and
Government capital.
Government Capital. We have done business with them before and they've always been reasonable. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Oh. Number 18, discuss our action on the purchase of a 2023 Big Tex 40-foot trailer for precinct number 1.
That would be mine, and it's considerably less than yours. $13,500. This is a purchase of a 40-foot trailer that will allow us to haul all the attachments along with our machine, so we don't have to make multiple trips. And
Is it a gooseneck?
it is a gooseneck.
Yeah.
From an individual, and we've already gone through. I think we checked, it was ready. I picked that up from Treasury, but I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. It's number 19, discuss and action on a resolution regarding enhanced regulation of data centers in the state of Texas. Gentlemen, this is a resolution that's been going around the counties, county judges and commissioners, circulating it among the state to attempt to get the state to act. Being as we have heard in Overform, we don't have any regulatory authority. So this is trying to spur them into that, and I'll read the resolution. It's lengthy because it's written by attorneys, but. Whereas Hill County supports reasonable economic development and recognizes that advanced technology infrastructure, including data centers, artificial intelligence facilities, will play an important role in Texas' future economy, and whereas hyperscaling computer facilities can require extraordinary levels of electric generation, transmission capacity, and rapid load growth without adequate planning could place additional strain on ERCOT grid and local transmission infrastructure. And whereas certain data center cooling technologies can require significant volumes of water, and local communities deserve transparency regarding projected water demand and its potential impact on regional water supplies. And whereas large-scale industrial development with significant power or water demands may have substantial impacts on local infrastructure, emergency services, and long-term land use planning. And whereas Suburban and rural counties often lack the regulatory tools available to municipalities despite being increasingly targeted for large-scale industrial and energy infrastructure development. And whereas the pace of data center construction has exponentially increased across the United States and within the state of Texas. And whereas data centers constitute critical infrastructure underpinning modem, commerce, healthcare, education, communications, financial systems, artificial intelligence, development, cloud computing, cyber operations, and national defense capabilities. Whereas the continued development of advanced data infrastructure is an essential component of Texas and the United States' economic competitiveness and national security posture and increasingly global technological competition, and the state of Texas has emerged as a national leader in attracting data center investment due to its business-friendly climate and energy resources. And whereas responsible long-term planning is necessary to ensure that critical infrastructure growth occurs in a manner that protects grid reliability, water sustainability, fiscal integrity, and the quality of life of existing residents. And whereas local concerns have emerged across Texas regarding the potential adverse impacts of large-scale centered data developments on surrounding communities, the environment, public health, consumer utility costs, land use capability, compatibility, and strain on local infrastructure and resources. And whereas the state of Texas electrical grid, managed by the Electrical Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, is experiencing rapidly increasing demand for electricity. And whereas projections indicate that without expanded generation capacity, transmission infrastructure, and reliability safeguards, Texas could face substantial shortfalls in electrical generation and grid reliability over the coming decade, increasing the risk of service interruptions and higher energy costs for residential, agricultural, and commercial consumers. And whereas rapid increases in large continuous load electricity demand attributable to hyperscale and similar data center facilities raises important reliability planning considerations, particularly during peak summer demand and extreme weather events. And whereas Texas faces recurring drought conditions and ongoing water supply challenges in many regions of the state, impacting municipal, agricultural, and industrial water users. And whereas certain data center cooling technologies, including open loop evaporative systems, may require substantial volumes of potable water, and cumulative regional demand associated with multiple facilities could materially affect local water availability, particularly in drought-prone areas. And whereas current state-level regulatory frameworks provide limited uniform requirements for transparent reporting of projected electricity demand and water consumption associated with proposed data center facilities. And whereas counties have limited statutory authority over electric generation regulations, electric grid oversight, and water resources, yet bear responsibility for protecting public health, safety, infrastructure integrity, and natural resources within their jurisdiction. And whereas under current Texas law, counties do not possess general zoning authority and are not granted broad land use regulatory powers comparable to those of municipalities, thereby limiting the ability of counties to regulate the location, density, and operational characteristics of large-scale developments such as data centers within the unincorporated areas. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Hill County Commissioners Court that the position of the court is the Commissioners Court supports responsible economic development, including data center facilities. However, the court formally expresses opposition to the use of open loop evaporating cooling systems or other high volume potable water consumption technologies in large scale data center facilities within Hill County and other water constrained regions. The court further opposes any data center development that fails to incorporate adequate safeguards to protect county resources and existing residents. The court further states that support for additional data center development in the state of Texas should be conditioned upon the implementation of comprehensive enforceable safeguards to protect the electric grid reliability and prevent cost burdens on residential, agricultural, and small business ratepayers, ensure responsible, sustainable, and transparent water use practices, protect agricultural lands, rangelands, wildlife habitats, and natural drainage systems by requiring careful site selection, avoidance of prime farmland, and ecological sensitive areas where practicable and appropriate mitigation of habitat fragmentation and stormwater impacts, prevent degradation of county roads, drainage systems, and other public infrastructure, and safeguard the community welfare, public health, and environmental quality. The court urges the state of Texas and relevant regulatory agencies to require full and transparent public reporting of anticipated electricity demand, water usage, and infrastructure impacts for all proposed data center developments prior to final approval. No future data center project should proceed without a rigorous, independent assessment of the impacts on ERCOT grid reliability and transmission capacity. impacts on regional water availability and drought contingency planning, impacts on agricultural lands, rangelands, wildlife habitats, natural drain patterns, and potential habitat fragmentation, including effects on prime farmland, soil integrity, and stormwater runoff. Long-term infrastructure costs borne by the taxpayers and effects on surrounding residential, agricultural, and commercial land use. The court encouraged adoption of statewide planning and regulatory standards prioritizing sustainability, including integration of water efficient or closed loop cooling technologies, utilization of reclaimed, recycled, or non-potable water sources where feasible, demand response participation and load management requirements to protect grid stability. The Commissioners Court respectfully requests that the governor and Texas legislature examine policy options that would improve transparency regarding projected electricity demands and water usage of large-scale computing facilities, and designate this matter as an interim study priority for appropriate legislative committees to evaluate grid reliability, water consumption, local authority, infrastructure impacts, and financial impacts, and evaluate ways to ensure coordination with local governments when large-scale industrial projects may significantly impact local infrastructure, energy services, or natural resources, and consider whether counties should be granted limited tools to assess infrastructure and resource impacts associated with hyperscale industrial developments, and consider if circumstances warrant timely action, inclusion of this issue on the call of a special session of the Texas legislature to address urgent reliability, water supply, local governance concerns, and enact legislation providing counties and municipalities meaningful participation and authority in land use, infrastructure planning, and resource impact review related to large-scale data center developments. Copies of this resolution shall be transmitted to the governor, lieutenant governor, state senator, state representative, Public Utility Commission of Texas, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, Electric Reliability Council of Texas, Texas Water Development Board, and any other appropriate regional and local government bodies.
To get started.
This is a full record vote. If there is a motion.
Make a motion.
I will motion. Second. In a second. Mr. Holcomb,
Yes.
Mr. Crumpton,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins, Mr. Lake,
Yes.
and myself, yes.
Increase that many times.
All right.
Yeah, that report for 5 minutes. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We'll take a 5-minute recess real quick. Thank you. Potty break.
Let's get it to do this.
That was like. That might have been faster than that.